Right. So, we said it in the last segment, you got to become a leader. Okay. So what you have now, once you get all your systems in place and you go from 10 to 15 deals to 50 to 100 deals, where you're at, you should be able to put somebody in place to run that organization. You don't want to get rid of it. Okay. That's a great little cash cow. Set it aside, find somebody that you put in place that you coach and you lead and you mentor and let them run that business for you. So it provides you the income to go do what you want to do. So you said you're not where you want to be yet. And for everybody listening, that's an important question. What do you want to be? Where is it that you want to be? That's number one. The hardest thing for people to figure out what it is they want or to do is to figure out what it is they want. So I'll say it again. The hardest thing for most people to do is figure out what it is they really want. Because people say, hey, I want to do these big deals. I want to be a millionaire. I want to have all this. I'm like, well, do you really? Are you really willing to do whatever it takes morally, legally, and ethically to achieve that result? Are you willing to do and sacrifice whatever it takes to achieve that result? You've already done it. You've gotten to 100 deals a year. That is doing whatever it takes. That's sacrificing. And I heard you, getting a little emotional when you're talking about your kids and your family. And I know that's why you're doing what you're doing. So you can spend time with them, so you can be with them, so you can live life the way you want to live it. So take that business, put it on autopilot, find somebody that can run that thing for you, that you're just coaching them and you're just keeping an eye on the KPIs and the metrics, right? And then start going after the bigger deals. So there's a couple of ways to do that. One is the natural progression. If you're a wholesale outfit, then you go to flipping, right? And you go to flipping higher end homes that are making $100,000, $200,000, okay? And then you go from that to the commercial deals, or you can go right from wholesaling to commercial. First and foremost, it's about education. It's about understanding the model, right? So doing the residential thing, whether it's infill development or spec house, that's another way to do it. You can start doing spec houses, infill development. You can make 2, 3, 500,000 on those types of projects in the same amount of time that you're flipping 100 houses, right? Or $1 million or whatever it is. So that's a next progression. So in order to get there, you got to understand what that is, and you got to understand how to do it. So there's an education factor there. So you got to educate yourself to the market or the segment that you want to go into. If you want to get into commercial, well, in commercial, you got 4 asset classes, right? You've got office, retail, industrial, and multifamily. And then beyond that, you've got hospitality and you've got land. So the 4 core classes are that office, commercial, retail, and industrial. So you got to decide what asset class do you want to get into, what appeals to you most. And within those, then you have the self-storage units, you have the mobile home parks, you have apartment buildings, you have different levels of apartment buildings, you have garden style, you have high rise, all kinds of different things. So you got to kind of figure out where you're at, what's available in your market, what it is you want to do, learn and educate yourself on those aspects of the business, just like you did on the other business. You got to know, what are the cap rates? What are the rents? What's the saturation? Pretty much everywhere you go, retail and office is just overbaked, right? There's vacancy everywhere. Multifamily cap rates are getting compressed. There's a lot of competition because a lot of wholesalers and flippers are going into the multifamily game and syndicating. So it's putting a lot of pressure on those properties, and the cap rates are getting really compressed, meaning it's getting more expensive to get in that game. So you got to kind of look where other people aren't going and try to find deals and opportunities. Mobile home parks have a lot of pressure. A lot of people are getting into that game. That, again, you need big deals there to make any kind of money quickly, unless you're flipping them. Sometimes you can make some wholesale fees flipping those. Self-storage can be a good market to be in. A little easier to run, but it is a retail business. So you got to understand the metrics of that business and what's all involved. It's not as easy as it sounds. Little warehouses, how hard can that be? I mean, that's a retail business. You got to have people. You've got to have employees, but there's management companies that will provide that for you. So there's ways to scale and grow that. So really for somebody who has your knowledge, your abilities, and your infrastructure, automate that core business so that you can live and you have that income coming in. Maybe you need to ramp that up a little bit and kind of build that business a little bit. Instead of doing 100 deals, find that individual that can run it and take it to 200 so that you can pay them and continue your income, right? And again, that's just KPIs, drilling down. Where's your biggest dollars coming from, and what areas, what marketing channels are producing the biggest results? That's easy to do with the right system, right? So then you just pour more fuel on that fire and just ramp that sucker up and put some systems in place so you can grow that and scale that to continue to pay you. So now you can go learn and focus on the bigger deals. And then ultimately this thing might fizzle out, or you sell it off, or you do whatever. And then you start focusing on these bigger deals. And then when you get into where you're making $300,000, $500,000, $1 million per deal, in less time than you're taking to flip 100 deals, then you've got something and you've got freedom, and you can hang on to some of those assets that, one deal might replace your income that you're making, flipping 100 houses for the rest of your life. It only takes one deal when you're getting into the commercial multifamily, to bring in that $20, $30, $50,000 a month for you.